No, we'll cut this bit out because that could be a separate video or something.
Yeah,
like, what card/color
we
would
won't
you
cut
add
this
in?
out.
I mean, I'm going to get it.
That's what to expect on Mull to None.
TARDIS with Dragon Balls. Hi guys, welcome to Mull to None. A brand new cEDH podcast presented by Matt
And Max.
Hey!
First podcast.
Yes.
Exciting.
Very exciting.
Oh.
Should we start with just diving into our pet decks?
Yes, I've clearly brought mine today.
Insert Oswald here.
Is it Oswald these days, or is it Rograk Arden?
Or Vadrop.
As long as I'm cheating stuff in, that's all that matters. In any, like, Jeskai variant, be it, like, blue, white, red, or red, white.
I remember when you hated blue.
I know. Times have changed. I drew a few too many cards, and, I haven't been back.
Yeah.
My favourite colours would have to be the Jeskai combination.
I'm Demir. I've always been Demir.
Yeah.
The first deck I ever built was this terrible modern deck that was based around like Liliana's Caress. Was it Liliana's Caress, Dark Deal, and Fate Unraveler?
Oh, my first deck
It was so bad.
that I made, I think was... I didn't know what Standard was, and I joined in 2014, and I tried to make this, like, heroic discard deck. I tried to take it into a store to play, but there just wasn't really anyone. I cracked a couple of fetch lands at the time, and as a new player, and you're reading, pay 1 life, sacrifice this land, find a land, didn't really seem that efficient, I'm not gonna lie. Might as well just put a basic forest in instead.
Yeah, just swap it out for the land you're going to fetch.
Yeah,
why would you put that one in?
I'll just... You know what? I will swap that with my LGS for a fancy-looking basic island, you know, because I'm clearly, like, knowledgeable. But then I stopped Magic after that. For ages.
Fair.
For ages, because I was thinking, like, not number one, I haven't really had anyone to play with. This discard deck is terrible. It wasn't even legal. And I wasn't really enjoying it. And then I returned to it in 2021, and then I started with the Strixhaven drafts.
I got into it at Origins, so it would have been about the same time. So it was PAX, so it would have been late 2013. And yeah, I got into it because I was there, and I was doing pin hunting, and they were giving away a free Nissa pin, which I still have. It's in the other room. For learning to play Magic. So you sit down and they give you the intro decks and everything, and they teach you how to play, and then they gave you the pin. And I was like, oh yeah, sweet, I'll do that, whatever. And I just kind of sat there for a couple of months, and then I got brought up with a friend of mine, and we ended up going to an LGS out the other side of town. And yeah, I just exploded from there.
Does that mean because I don't have a Nissa pin, I've never learned how to play Magic? So any of my rule calls at this point, they're all false. Just
actually, yes, yeah, I'll go with that. I'll back that.
I've got like a completed Jace pin that I got from like opening up all these like Phyrexia pins with Aaron.
Oh. Actually, if anyone watching this has the Nissa pin from PAX, let us know, because that's a good pin.
So he can have 2.
Yes, that's why. Yeah, I think that's vaguely kind of how we got into Magic.
Yeah, that's vaguely how we got... Oh, but cEDH though. That's how we got into Magic.
No, the interim step of Commander. Because you said you coming back and got into Commander, but it actually took a long time for my mate to convince me to try Commander.
I was seeing someone play it in between draft events, early Strixhaven draft, and someone got absolutely rinsed by like some Magecraft combo. Like he died like in like turn 4. He was playing fast anyway, so that was realistically like 3 minutes into like a 90-minute round.
Nice.
So they just played a game of Commander 1v1 versus each other. I can't really recall both commanders, but I knew one of them was the Gitrog monster.
Ugh.
And
what an intro.
There was a lot of triggers, and the other guy was casting a lot of spells, and I think I'm much more of like a kind of spellcaster permanence.
I mean, you like Jeskai, so
yeah, I like
Jeskai is spellcaster plus white, spell slinger
plus silence.
White. Yeah,
that's the one addition to the toolkit.
Yep.
Plus that wonderful removal seat that Jeskai has that non-white variants do not have. Swords, Path, the Light.
Oh yeah, no, but see that's just white removal.
I'm talking about Jeskai.
But non-Jeskai is anything that also includes white.
Any white
it's
variant
just
will
white.
have it.
Yeah.
Boros Charm, even though I don't use it in any deck.
Yeah, but again, that's Boros, not Jeskai.
Oh. Jeskai Ascendancy, which I don't play in any deck also.
It's a great card, not good for cEDH.
I mean,
I think there's one deck that plays it, actually.
Yeah, I mean, if you can loot through your deck, it's pretty damn good. Just go with ISO, and then you can, like,
You're gonna have to do that now.
What, Jeskai Ascendancy ISO combo?
Yep. Or just a Jeskai deck with Jeskai Ascendancy as the win con. It took me a minute to actually get into Commander because I was playing just really, really bad Dimir modern decks, and then a friend of mine was like, just play Commander. You get to play all these great cards. Okay, well, what is it? He's like, it's a 100 card deck. You get one of each card, and he just lost me there. I was like, no, I don't want to play just one. I want to play 4. He's like, if I'm making someone discard their hand, I want to play 4 of that card.
Absolutely.
I ended up playing. He's like, oh, here, try this one. It's got Jace the Mind Sculptor in it. I was like, sweet, Jace. I want to play Jace. Cool. Because I'd known about Jace at this point. And like, just do this. You'll get Jace in there. And so I picked up those decks. Like, I have no idea what this is doing. Opening hand, hey, look, it's got Jace in it. Cool, I'll keep this. And I just got destroyed. It just kind of slowly went from there. My mate got me into it. Ended up building Phoenix as my first deck. God of Deception. Tribal. Yes. And it was bad. It got a lot better. There's some really good mill cards now. I still have it.
I've seen you play it. I think I've played it
a
couple times, and I did not draw what I needed to.
You really don't.
It really didn't do your deck justice, because I'm like, I'm sure it's good.
It's partly because I've had the deck for so long and it's got so many good staples in it. I take them out for other decks, making the Phoenix deck worse. Yeah. And then after a while, I'll pull the other deck apart and put them back in. So it's gone through so many iterations of like good cards and terrible cards and good cards. And yeah.
So how did you get into cEDH then?
YouTube, actually.
YouTube.
Yeah, during lockdown, I think it was Play to Win. I was just watching a lot of Magic content, like Command Zone. Yeah, it was just through YouTube, and I discovered competitive, and I was like, that sounds interesting. Let's give it a watch. And so I went through and watched the entire back catalogue of Play to Win and Playing with Power. And at this point, that was like 20 videos each. But yeah. And I was just like, this is really cool. So I threw together a list for Thrasios Tevish. It was really cool. It was a mid-range Thoracle deck.
All the tutors as well.
All the tutors.
Uniform as well.
Yeah. But it was stuff that I just threw together from watching the videos and like, these are the staples I need. This is what I want to do. Throw it all together. And so it was kind of bad. But when it won, it really won.
Yeah, absolutely.
What about you? What got you into cEDH?
So I was casually playing Oswald Fiddlebender, and I built it up from scratch. And I came to realize, hey, I'm starting to like stacks. This probably won't lead on to anything, but I'm sure this guy has a lot of potential to get kind of silver bullets onto the field and kind of just really dominate the table. Then I did a little bit of research in regards to like stacks pieces, and all I got was like
Winter Orb.
Finding out about the smokestack deck. Not really getting much help from there. And then a couple more clicks down, a couple more clicks on Google, going to like second page.
I didn't think anyone went to the second page of Google anymore.
It's all the stacks players.
Yeah. They're like, I got time. I got
time. I mean,
just during someone else's turn.
It's like, let's go to the fourth page. As I looked into all these means to make Oswald stronger, a new acronym was appended onto all of these deck lists. Yeah. cEDH. And I'm thinking, what even is EDH? And then I found out that means Commander.
Yep.
Due to its humble origins. And then the next C I was thinking, C is not in the word strong. Which is a bit of a very like reasonable finding, you know. I felt very proud of myself.
Yep. Although C could also stand for casual. Cool is definitely cool. So that's our start. What decks do we play now?
I'm a bit of a fan of polymorphing.
Although not in blue.
There's one in the works. At the Dockside Debacle, a little cEDH tournament, I decided to take a moderately jank list to this tournament because it can win on turn 1 and turn 2
it would.
Nearly consistently.
Yep.
It did not in that tournament.
No. That deck helps when people don't know what it does.
Oh, absolutely. But then again, it still can like slip through. Yeah. Like when everybody's completely knowledgeable of it.
Yeah. It was just unfortunate for you that your first game was against me, who knew what the deck did.
And then I got trampled over by like dinosaur elves. Oh.
Yeah, that was that. Yep. That is what happened.
I love cheating stuff into play. So that's Oswald, cheating artifacts from your deck into play. Then I've also got Rograk Tevesh, and that's using Polymorph as an alternate win con to get Void Winnower and Sire of Insanity onto the field. Sorry, no, it's a Rakdos Turbo Stacks deck.
Contagion sucks.
I've got a Jeskai Mutate combo Storm deck.
That deck is sick.
Vadrock.
That is a lot of fun.
I love that deck so much. There's too many game actions that deck can take. And for some reason, like, if I were to write a primer for every combo, each time I'd play it, I'd probably like triple the Triple the word count. Surprisingly enough, flashing back something from the grave and then not exiling it afterwards if it isn't permanent is not a good idea.
That's a fantastic
It's
idea.
a fantastic idea.
Bad
but
for...
it just means like I can intuition 4 times and apparently not win.
And not resolve them. Yep.
I've got like this 5-color dragon deck, Blue Farm, which has been terrorizing the meta recently.
Yeah, our meta didn't have Blue Farm, and we went, let's just... For tournaments and stuff, if someone brings it, we need to know how to stop it, so...
It works.
Max took the bullet and went, I'll build it,
and it's been fun. Join the dark side, join Blue Farm.
Don't do it. And if you're playing against it, just steal Crown and call it a day.
And I think that's about it. As for your cEDH decks?
I have 2. My pet deck. It's Stifle Tribal. So I built Yuriko. I went onto the database, found a Yuriko list after seeing Yuriko pop up a bunch of times in like YouTube videos and stuff. I was like, that seems cool, so let's have a look at that. And this was about the time when the APAC promo came out.
Oh, yep.
And I was like, sweet, I'll get one of those, I'll build Yuriko. So I built Yuriko, played it a little bit, made a bunch of changes, made it a little grindy, a little more hard control. Took out a lot of the lower tier ninjas. And then, going into the Dockside Debacle tournament earlier this year, I was like, okay, what decks am I most worried about? What do I think I'm going to see that I would like to interact with the most? And the 2 decks kind of came to mind. One was Magda and one was Winota. I was like, they're both ability based. So I was like, okay, I know Stifle, it's a good card. Find a bunch of other different versions of Stifle, put them in. So I ended up putting in Stifle, Squelch, Defabricate.
Oh, did it exist at that time yet?
It did.
It did. It was like just.
It was like just in. So there was another one that I ended up taking out. The 3 mana one that's it's 2 mana. Counter target activated ability or legendary spell. I like Defabricate. That card is amazing.
Defabricate is amazing.
Say, someone's casting Underworld Breach. Cool, exile it. Go away. Nah, not for you.
No.
Yeah, so that was how Yuriko came about. And then the other one, actually you helped me pick this one. This was so good. I was trying to think of a different deck
I was thinking,
to go for.
You know what?
What do we want to do?
Anything but Demir.
Yeah.
If anything, the exact
everything.
opposite.
And so it went from anything except Demir to everything except Demir.
Yes.
So I ended up with Naya, and I was like, okay, what Naya decks are out there? There was
Jetmir?
There was a Jetmir deck, there was one other one, and then there was Rocco. So those were the 3 Naya choices. So I did a bit of research, watched some videos. I was like, Rocco seems pretty cool. So I was like, okay, cool. Let's build a Rocco deck. And I found a slightly off-meta Rocco build. It was more of a food chain list. Also had in combos with a Shire. Turn all your stuff into Forest and then sack them to Lumberjack or bounce them through Korean Ranger. Stuff like that. Which was fun, but I ended up taking out a lot of those combos. And again, made it a little more stacksy. So put in things like Aethersworn Canonist, and Dranith was already in there.
Would you put Dranith in Yuriko?
Yes, I would 100% put Dranith in Yuriko.
I've created this stacks environment. I regret to be involved in this stacks environment. Yet still went through it. Maybe it's the long con. Create a stacks meta. Produce stacks resilient decks.
So what you're saying is always, with Rocco, always go for Aethersworn Canonist.
Aethersworn Canonist does not affect Rograk Garden at all. I just need to cast the Polymorph.
It stops Vadrop dead in its tracks though.
Oh, absolutely.
But so do Grafdiggers.
Yeah. The funny thing is though, if we think back to the Dockside Debacle, as everybody was like super scared for Winota. The funny thing was, as much as I want to be like, Winota's scary, and we need to react accordingly, I'm like, I gotta be careful saying that to people in this meta. Why? Because then that means I'll put Grafdigger's Cage in and I'm taking a Polymorph text in the tournament. I'm like a little biased. I'm like, Winota's scary. Maybe not.
I mean, yes, she is.
She's scary, but...
Grafdiggers doesn't actually do that much to her, so put in other stuff.
On second thought... Yeah, don't even worry about Containment Priest either. You're wasting your flex pick.
That tournament was good.
Yeah.
And then that led to the Guff tournaments.
Yes.
What drew us to cEDH? Like, what about it, though?
There's a bunch of cute stuff that can be done in casual, and that's all well and good, and that has its place.
Yeah.
But tapping into those kind of either play decisions made in limited draft, if not some of those more competitive constructed formats like standard and modern, there isn't exactly area space to do that within casual commander.
True.
Where it's like the best play doesn't necessarily result in smiles across the table.
Like land destruction. You bring Landestruck into a casual table, you will be ostracized very quickly.
Yeah, I imagine so.
But you bring it to a CDH table and it's like, oh, I only need 2 lands anyway, and I've got all this artifact ramp, so sure, blow them up, doesn't matter.
And then we're seeing that unutilized card pool for CDH because it was the whole thing like somewhat frowned upon to be too high power.
Yeah.
I mean, which I 100% get.
Yeah.
Because,
casual needs to stay casual.
Play a casual game, I get it 100%. But sometimes when you do like some pretty cool stuff, like drawing your entire deck or massive counter battles.
The stack. Yeah, the stack interactions. That was one of the biggest draws for me.
Yeah.
It's just keeping track of what's going on. Like, I mean, I have ADHD, so my brain's just like, I need stuff to focus on. And it's like keeping track of what everyone's got on the board and then what everyone's doing and maintaining the stack and resolving it properly. It's like, this is what I need.
And then among all the stacks as well, like it just becomes a much more complicated game state. Unless you're playing...
wait, what stacks are out? What can I actually play?
There's an exception to that. If someone brings out like a chaos deck in casual, then it's just like, you thought cEDH stacks was bad?
Yeah, Scrambleverse.
Scrambleverse.
Actually,
Reality Storm, Knowledge
well,
Put them all together, have a terrible time.
Why do we think other people should play cEDH?
Well,
because we like playing with multiple people.
Yes, we've currently just got us. There's no one else that we play with.
Yeah, it's just us.
Help. It's a good format to really learn the stack.
And yeah, actually that's a good one. Yeah, increasing your knowledge of how to play Magic.
I feel like coming out of competitive Magic and going into casual, I will still like be playing with a bunch of casual cards. But when I've got my response, I'm really like holding it to the last minute. And I'm really like, I'm getting some, some strange eyebrows. I'm like, do you pass priority on that? And they're just like, what? I'm just sitting there. I'm like, no, just I need to hear the verbal like confirmation that like you've done absolutely every game action that you want to do at this point before I can do it, and then counter the stack.
Then
I love Whirlwind Denial.
Oh, Whirlwind Denial. Yes. Good card.
So good.
Too expensive for cEDH, but great in casual.
It's good against Venota. It is so good against Venota. Stifle the better.
Maybe I should run it.
No.
And
no.
No.
There's a better headspace to cEDH when you take a game action. It was taken with some reasonableness to achieve what your deck needs to win.
Yeah.
Rather than be met with kind of like more of an emotive response.
Why are you casting Witness Protection on my Heliod when there's a Narset player that's going to win?
Yeah.
Just as a off the cuff example, that didn't happen. I still stand by that. It's funny.
But then again, that wasn't like in the whole cEDH ethos, and you're completely aware.
Oh no, 100%.
So
I should not have done
so
that.
provided you were making like the right play, it can't be met with complaints. To reiterate my point, with buyback.
Ooh.
And again, because I
choose another target.
The same thing.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. Take 4 extra turns.
I stand by the fact that in cEDH there's like less of a basis for negative reactions to plays, and that may sound like some ideal, but when everything's allowed to be on the table with all these kind of play styles of land destruction stacks, policing, and outright combo.
I mean, there's a reason Thassa's Oracle wins a lot of games.
Yes.
But people just go, Thassa's Oracle.
Oh, sweet. And
cool. Scoop, shuffle up, let's go again.
Next game.
Yeah.
Exactly. I think that's a really healthy mindset for playing a lot of games and trying to play them as best as you can. The whole thing of like, it's all about kind of all the sportsmanship side of it.
Yeah.
That I prefer over trying to play the game with your highly CMC costed cards slowly in a casual format and then either doing nothing or when you try and do something, a groan as a result of you playing your deck. Mull to none. What are our viewers expect?
What are this? We're going to be focusing mostly on gameplay and podcasts. I think there will be interspersed videos relating to my voice getting worse. Relating to like tips and tricks on how to play cEDH if you want to get into it.
Little tips on other aspects of the whole cEDH nomenclature. Card and set evaluations. And even vlogs of local cEDH events. Host either LGS's, big event halls. And also, I plan to make use out of the data we get from the games listed on the channel and then provide insights that could be intermixed throughout our podcasts. It's not just going to be Matt and I.
No.
We'll have our friends on every now and then.
As much as we joke around, it's not actually just us playing 2 decks each.
Yeah. We've got We both have twins. We will have, either people that we get closer with in the CEDH scene, because, various LGSs introduces different people outside of our play space.
Yes.
And with the tournaments, we've made some good friends as a result.
We have.
Shout out Strix.
Shout out Strix.
That beard is luxurious.
It really is.
Oh no, he shaved.
Did he?
Oh no.
We're just going to have to cut this whole section now.
Shout out Strix.
We would do shout outs here, but no one likes us anymore.
Yeah.
I think that's what people can expect.
Yeah.
Just generic magic content.
Generic magic content. Possibly with some unique insights.
I hope so.
I hope so. But we will have some local insights, just not in regards to where we're playing, but of the games that have been played. We'll see how the decks themselves perform, and if how our decks perform against each other causes other changes to happen, within the decks themselves. If you look at our deck histories,
I forget the deck histories is a thing.
We'll comment about it in our podcast.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
I hope that we'll get a nice little community going as a result of this. And,
That'd be ideal.
We'll have a lot of content for you guys to watch based on what you can hear and see.
So that's pretty much what you can expect from Mull to None.
So thank you and welcome to Mull to None. It's just
Wait, what does that note say? Why did I write that? No, you say anything past there and it's not going to get, the mic's not going to pick it up.
speaking though.
How do they know?